These two bottles cost about the same. They're the same color. They're sitting on the same shelf at the same auto parts store. And if you put the wrong one in your car, you could be looking at a transmission replacement that runs anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000. The worst part? This happens every single day. Not because people are careless, not because they don't read labels. It happens because the labeling system for transmission fluid is genuinely confusing, because manufacturers have made it more complicated over the last 30 years, not less, and because the damage doesn't show up immediately. It shows up 3,000 miles later when your car starts slipping gears and the shop tells you the clutch packs are destroyed. Today, I'm going to explain exactly why the wrong fluid does so much damage, how the confusion happens in the first place, how to make absolutely sure you're using the right fluid for your specific car, and what to do if you think you may have already made this mistake. Before we get into how it goes wrong, I need to explain what transmission fluid is actually doing inside your gearbox, because once you understand that, the rest of this makes complete sense. Your transmission is one of the most mechanically complex components in your car. Inside an automatic transmission, you have clutch packs, stacks of friction discs that engage and disengage to change gears. You have a torque converter that transfers engine power to the transmission. You have a valve body, a hydraulic brain made of dozens of tiny passages and solenoids that directs fluid pressure to exactly the right place at the right time to make shifts happen. You have planetary gear sets, thrust washers, bushings, and bearings, all spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute. Transmission fluid has to do all of the following things simultaneously. It has to lubricate every moving metal surface. It has to transfer hydraulic pressure through the valve body to control shifts. It has to carry heat away from the clutch packs and bearings. And it has to provide exactly the right amount of friction, not too much, not too little, so the clutch packs engage smoothly without slipping or grabbing. That last one is the critical part. The friction characteristics of the fluid are engineered to match the specific clutch materials inside that transmission. Different transmissions use different clutch materials. Different clutch materials require different friction profiles in the fluid. When you put the wrong fluid in, you're not just using a slightly different lubricant. You're introducing a fluid with the wrong friction profile into a system that was designed around a specific one. The clutch packs start behaving differently. Shifts become harsh or soft. The clutches either grab too hard and wear prematurely, or they slip, generating heat and destroying the friction material. And heat is the real killer. Transmission fluid starts breaking down around 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Above 260, you're causing accelerated wear. Above 295, seals start to harden and crack. At 300 plus, the fluid itself is burning. Every 20-degree increase in operating temperature above the normal range cuts the fluid's effective life roughly in half. Wrong fluid doesn't just cause mechanical problems, it causes thermal problems that compound everything else. So how does someone end up with the wrong fluid? Let me walk you through the 3 most common ways this happens, because understanding the path helps you avoid it. The first way, and the most common, is grabbing a generic or universal fluid off the shelf. Walk into any auto parts store and you'll see bottles labeled Universal ATF, Multi-Vehicle Transmission Fluid, or Automatic Transmission Fluid, suitable for most vehicles. These products exist, they're real, and they're genuinely fine for some vehicles. The problem is the word universal. It creates the impression that one fluid works in everything. It doesn't. It never has. Universal fluids are typically formulated to meet a broad range of older General Motors Dexron and Ford Mercon specifications. If your car requires one of those, and many older domestic vehicles do, you're fine. But if your car requires a Honda-specific fluid, a Toyota WS, a ZF fluid for a BMW or Audi, a Chrysler ATF plus 4, or any number of modern manufacturer-specific formulations, a universal fluid does not meet those specs. It's not close enough. The friction modifiers are different. The viscosity profile is different. The additive package is different. The label says universal. Your car does not agree. The second way it happens, someone tops off the fluid without checking what's already in there. This one catches a lot of people who know what they're doing. You notice your transmission fluid is a little low. You grab a bottle of what you think is the right stuff, add half a quart, and move on. But either you grabbed the wrong bottle, or the previous owner had already put in a fluid that was incompatible, or the shop that serviced it last used something different. Now you have a mix, and some fluid combinations don't just underperform, they react. Certain additive packages, when combined, can cause foaming. Foamed fluid can't transfer hydraulic pressure properly. your transmission starts behaving erratically. The shifts get sloppy, and you have no idea why because nothing dramatic happened. You just added a little fluid. The third way, and this one frustrates me the most, is following outdated advice. Transmission fluid specifications have changed dramatically over the last 2 decades. In the 1990s, Dexron 3 covered a huge percentage of domestic automatic transmissions. Then came Dexron 6, which is not backward compatible in all applications the way the marketing sometimes implies. Ford moved from Mercon to Mercon 5 to Mercon LFIF, and those are not interchangeable. Honda has had DWHF, DW1, and CVT fluids that look similar on the shelf but are chemically distinct. Toyota moved from T4 to WS, and if you're still running T4 in a WS application because that's what the internet forum from 2009 told you, that's a problem. If you Google your car's transmission fluid and find a forum post from 10 years ago recommending a specific product, verify it. Formulations change. What was correct in 2012 may not be correct now, and what was correct for a 2005 model may not be correct for a 2015 model of the same nameplate. Let me give you some real-world examples because I think hearing specific cases makes this land differently than talking about it in the abstract. Honda is probably the most notorious example. Honda has been very explicit since the early 2000s that their automatic transmissions require Honda-specific fluid. They even printed on the transmission itself in some models. The reason is that Honda's clutch pack design has always used a slightly different engagement feel, smooth and progressive, which is part of why people like driving Hondas. That feel is tuned by the fluid. Put a generic ATF in a Honda automatic, and within a few thousand miles you'll typically notice shudder, a vibration or judder when the transmission shifts, particularly at low speeds. That shudder is the torque converter clutch not engaging smoothly. Keep ignoring it and you're eventually replacing the torque converter or the whole transmission. The fix in many Honda shudder cases is just a drain and refill with the correct Honda DW1 fluid. If you catch it early, the shudder often goes away completely within a few hundred miles. If you don't catch it, you're deep into a repair that could have been prevented by a $10 difference in fluid choice at the auto parts store. BMW and other European vehicles are another high-stakes example. Many BMWs, Mercedes, and Audis use ZF manufactured automatic transmissions. The 6 HP and 8 HP series are extremely common. ZDF specifies their own fluid, and they specify it very precisely. The 8-horsepower transmission calls for ZF Lifeguard 8 or an approved equivalent. Generic ATF is not an approved equivalent. These are sophisticated, tightly toleranced transmissions with narrow hydraulic passages in the valve body. The wrong fluid viscosity alone, even if the friction profile were perfect, can cause pressure irregularities that result in delayed shifts, harsh engagement, and solenoid wear. And because ZF transmissions are used across so many European brands, a shop that isn't paying close attention might reach for a generic fluid out of habit. It's not intentional, it's a workflow error, which is why you, as the owner, need to know what your car requires. Toyota's WS fluid is another one worth knowing. WS stands for World Standard, and it was designed to be a lifetime fluid. Thinner viscosity, high-performance additive package, meant to last the life of the transmission under ideal conditions. The key word is ideal. If you use a thicker fluid in a WS application, even a high-quality one, the thicker viscosity can cause pressure issues in the valve body because those passages were sized for a thinner fluid. Shifts become sluggish or delayed. People interpret this as a transmission problem when it's actually a fluid spec problem. Okay, so how do you make sure you always use the right fluid? Here's the exact process, and it takes about 3 minutes. Step 1. Open your owner's manual. Go to the maintenance section or the fluids and capacities section. Find the entry for automatic transmission fluid or CVT fluid. It will list either a specific product name, like Honda DW1, Toyota WS, or ATF Plus 4, or a specification code like Dexron 6 or Mercon LV. Write that down or take a photo of that page. Step 2. If the owner's manual lists a manufacturer-specific fluid, use that fluid, not an equivalent. Not a fluid that claims to meet that spec on the back label. The actual OEM fluid. I know it costs more. A quart of Honda DW1 is $8. A quart of Toyota WS is $10. A quart of ZDF Lifeguard 8 might run you $20 to $25 at a dealer. These numbers feel high compared to a $5 generic quart. They are not high compared to a $5,000 transmission replacement. Step 3. If the manual lists a general specification like Dexron 6 or Mercon LV, you have more flexibility. At that point, look for a quality aftermarket fluid that explicitly states it meets or exceeds that specific specification. Not compatible with, not suitable for vehicles requiring. Look for meets Dexron 6 or licensed by GM for Dexron 6 use. That licensing language matters. Step 4. If you're not sure, ask your dealer's parts department. Not the service writer, not the counter person at the auto parts store. Call the dealer parts department, give them your VIN, and ask what transmission fluid they stock for your car. They will tell you exactly what the factory specifies. It's a free phone call. Step 5. If someone else is servicing your car, a quick lube, an independent shop, a dealer, ask them specifically what fluid they're going to use before they do the service. Say the words, "What brand and specification of transmission fluid are you going to use, and does it meet the factory spec for my vehicle?" A competent shop will answer this without hesitation. A shop that gets evasive or annoyed by the question is telling you something. Now, what if you think the wrong fluid might already be in your transmission? What do? First, don't panic. The damage from wrong fluid is almost always gradual, not instantaneous. Unless someone put in something truly incompatible, like engine oil or power steering fluid, which does happen, you likely have a window to correct it. The signs to watch for: shuddering or vibrating during shifts, especially at low speeds or light throttle. Harsh or jerky shifts that weren't there before. Delayed engagement when you shift from park into drive or reverse, that momentary pause where nothing happens. Slipping, where the engine revs but the car doesn't accelerate the way it should. And in some cases, a whining or humming noise that wasn't there before. If you're experiencing any of those symptoms and you're not sure what fluid is in your transmission, or you know the wrong fluid went in, the first step is a drain and refill with the correct fluid. Not a flush. A drain and refill. Here's an important distinction. A transmission drain and refill only removes 30 to 50% of the total fluid volume, because the rest stays in the torque converter and the cooler lines. That's actually fine for this situation. You want to dilute the wrong fluid with the right fluid, not shock the system with a complete fluid swap all at once. Do one drain and refill, drive it for a week, do another. After 2 drain and refill cycles, you've replaced the vast majority of the fluid volume. If the symptoms resolve after a fluid correction, congratulations, you caught it in time. If the symptoms don't resolve or get worse, you need a transmission specialist to assess whether internal damage has already occurred. At that point, you're looking at whether the clutch packs are worn, whether the solenoids are affected, whether the valve body needs cleaning or replacement. The difference between catching it early and catching it late is often the difference between a $200 fluid service and a $4,000 rebuild. That's not an exaggeration, that's the actual math. Here's the thing I want you to take away from this. Transmission fluid is not a category where close enough is good enough. It's not like motor oil where you have some flexibility in weight and brand, and it's going to be fine. The friction chemistry matters. The viscosity matters. The additive package matters. And these specifications exist because engineers designed specific transmissions around specific fluid properties. The people who end up with destroyed transmissions from wrong fluid almost never did something reckless. They grabbed the wrong bottle off a shelf. They trusted a forum post. They let a shop make a decision they didn't oversee. Small, easy mistakes with expensive, slow-moving consequences. The fix is simple. Know your spec. Use the right fluid. Ask the question before you hand your car to someone else. 3 minutes of attention on this one thing will protect a component that cost the manufacturer thousands of dollars to engineer and will cost you thousands of dollars to replace. That's it. That's the whole video. If this was useful, share it, because this is genuinely the kind of thing people find out about after the damage is done. The person in your life who's about to do their first transmission service or who takes their car to a quick lube and never asks questions. Send it to them. Drop a comment and tell me what car you're driving and I'll tell you exactly what fluid it takes. I'll answer everyone. And subscribe, because next week we're covering the transmission flush debate, whether it helps, whether it hurts, and the specific situation where it can take a transmission that's running fine and turn it into one that isn't. That video is going to make some shops very uncomfortable. See you then.